Hello. How's everyone's Friday going? I finally have a functional webcam over here, and it made me realize maybe I didn't want HD, because now make the I'm gonna have to actually make sure the makeup is covering up all my sins. It's like no longer will I be able to get away with just with just a little bit of tinted moisturizer. No, I'm gonna have to go full drag from here on out. Anyways, someone said, "Ooh, chartreuse." No, this is neon yellow. But I decided it's like we need a dash of yellow so it matches the gray in the sky out here. Oh my God. Let's see. Um, Melissa Knock asked, "Morning, Yvette. Can we also have no bras as well as the no pants?" Yeah, there's like, has anyone worn a bra since March? I don't think like it's. Bras have been officially outlawed, I think, in anywhere that's still in lockdown. At least that's my role out here. I regularly have back issues, and especially like several years ago I broke a rib right on the bra line. So anytime I can avoid wearing a bra, I'm avoiding wearing a bra. So I think I've maybe worn one like once on this when I was like, when I had the webcam lower and you could make like I was trying to be ladylike, and not be like, here's a nipple hanging out. So it's my patrons are coming in here. Hello, Christian. Hello, Akiko. Hello, Melissa. I see you guys. Thank you for it's just to let you guys know. So a couple different ways you can help kind of support the Dog and Pony Show here. You can do either a one-time donation over at PayPal, or as you guys can see over at Facebook, there are stars. 1 star is 1 penny. So as stars keep rolling in, that is one way to kind of keep the atmosphere festive. But also we have over at Patreon, I do one extra patron only live stream per month, and that's those. Also over at Patreon, I do a couple of you guys get a few extra little brain droppings each month. So if you want to help keep the Dog and Pony Show running, and by Dog and Pony Show I mean Buddy the science dog, who is always in need of whatchamacallit, of more vet appointments. He's an expensive little dog. Henry Ortega just asked, "Do you have merch?" I have a little bit over at my Zazzle store, and I think I've been planning on ages to move my stuff from my Zazzle store, because ages ago I tried putting in like a very I was trying to make a COVID shirt on there because it was, what was the slogan? It was something very simple, basic, and it was like a message about wearing masks or something. Like it was and they had banned they were not letting any COVID any COVID anything be printed there. And I'm like, people want I'm like I for all the things that I do, telling spreading the good. Or thank you, Leslie, for the compliment on the makeup, for all the work I do, try to tell people here is the thing you have to do to save yourself from the COVIDs. I would like to hopefully get people to wear these messages on a t-shirt, and they were like, we're not gonna do it. So I'm trying to find another platform that will possibly take a COVID that will run a COVID shirt for me. So anyway, that's a thing I'm working on. But Henry just mentioned Redbubble. So yeah, I'll check out Redbubble. It's one that I checked out ages ago. The reason everyone's commenting on the lipstick. The lipstick is I don't know if they still make it anymore. It's actually a chemist who runs chemist biochem. Anyways, over at Atomic Cosmetics I'm saying a lot today. I apologize. It's Atomic Cosmetics / Zerion Skincare. I don't think she's still doing any colors or whatnot, but for ages she had one of the best lip colors that I'd ever tried. She has like number one, the name of, like, I redesigned her website ages ago, and it's colorsthatgoboom.com. And I'm very, like, look, I'm not a very good web designer, but I'm very proud of the work I did on her website. And she needed, some of her lip colors are amazing. This one, she has a pink that's called Fuck You, I'm Pink. And it's like, I'm not really a big pink person, and I love that lip color, but this, I know she still makes, it's sorry for getting off on a makeup tangent. Guys, just like, look, go fix yourself a drink for a second if you're not into makeup. For a second, us women are gonna figure out how to take over the world while we're figuring out how to do good setting powder. But anyways, her setting powder is amazing, and I still love her lipstick. Go nag her into making more of this red lipstick because it's fucking bomb. And it also has a little, like, the applicator has two lights on it, so it's like it's helping you aim at your lip. How incredible is that? Anyways, so Russell Smith just said, read the damn phone book for all I care. I will try to. I need a little elastic on my wrist to snap every time I say It's an overly umming day. I'll calm it down eventually. We'll get there. So let me scroll back up and try to get to a few comments. Let's see, Sarah. Again, thank you. Kay Everhart, thank you for subscribing to me over on YouTube. I'm trying to lure you over there as I'm taping some other stuff that's scripted and edited and all that scary stuff over for YouTube. I see a few people recommending platforms for merch, Bonfire, and Redbubble. I checked into Redbubble. One of the things that I wanted for a merch platform, because not that I'm not exactly the best of designers, of graphic designers, and I really liked about Zazzle that they had a way to design things right on the platform. So just can't do any code stuff. Anyways, scrolling down, Larry and likewise commenting. I have just the Callie at Toastmaster scrolling a little bit more. John Roberts commenting, there's a song named and Arg. I'm performing that song right now, I believe. Let's see, put up the makeup website, and I couldn't get a pen quick enough. D Scott, the name of the makeup website is colorsthatgoboom.com. I'll just link to it below. It's Atomic Cosmetics. If you look, she has a site on Facebook. I'll link it in the show notes, as the cool kids say. Let's see. How do you? Shannon Alexander asks, how do you respond to those that say COVID-19 is just a conspiracy? I don't think I'm even responding to those anymore. One of the best ways that I'm pointing it out at this point is just to point out the fatality statistics in New York. Because I think yesterday, anytime I post anything about Trump, it's just to clarify, I decided not to drink because I've had a little bit of a stomachache today, but I did take an edible that's probably going to kick in about an hour. So at about lick time, things might get a little weird. Stay tuned. So where was I? Scrolling back up. Conspiracy theory. So somebody commented, yeah, it's actually only fatal in 0.04% of cases. I'm like, hold the fuck up there. So at this point, we're pretty sure that about Zinni Official, I see your question. I'll get to you in a second. So at about this point, about 0.3%, about 30% of New York City, somewhere between 25 and 30% of New York City has gotten infected with this so far, and they figured out through seropositivity testing and through fecal matter wastewater testing in New York City. So they figured this out by a couple of different routes, and about somewhere, same thing. It's I'm flipping the stats on this. I apologize. I want to say it's about 30% of the city has gotten, it's 25% of the city has gotten sick at this point, and about 0.3% of the city has died. So obviously it's higher than 0.04% fatal if 0.3% of the city has died. I'm tired of hearing people say that there's nothing to worry about. Obviously, if the person who they're getting their cues from is President Trump, and he said back in February that he knew it was that fatal, that's it's a problem. It's a little Zinni Official just commented it's 0.6 according to the WHO. It's still I'm gonna argue it's like that's the thing. It's like it's hard to figure out where the IFR is when we're still going back and forth between CFR and IFR, and we've yet to figure out what the total caseload is. But in New York, when we have that high of a number of cases that we think we have, when it's at about, give or take, 2.5 million cases, and there's about 25 to 30,000 dead from it, because we're still estimating the total number of dead, that looks like we're gonna land at about 1% total fatality. So it's hard to calculate. We don't know the total number. Like it's a very hard thing to get our stats on. Like it's gonna be a while till we know all the numbers on this, and that's just kind of the reality of it. I want to scroll back because I wanted to get to your question on that. Okay, so this was a really good question that came up both here from a question on YouTube from Zinni, and it was a question that was dropped in whatchamacallit over in on Facebook earlier, and it's does the CDC say that the flu is worse for children than COVID is for children? And it's because the flu is worse for kids than COVID, or in general, kids are likelier to get an asymptomatic case of COVID than an this is actually less likely to be I'm sorry, I'm stuttering all over the place on this one, but yeah, if you're, it seems like I know it seems counterintuitive with all the things that, all the warnings, all the, all of the nightmare that COVID's been, but all the nightmare that it is, it also seems like it's not as bad, not likely for kids 10 and under to be as bad as the flu. So somebody just commented that you're having problems with sound. Is anyone out there having an issue with sound? On my side, it looks like it's a little bit not synced up with video. I'm not sure if that's happening for any of you guys out there. So if you are, let me know. Anyways, so somebody just commented, Alejandro Olvera just commented, 24,000 COVID deaths in New York City and 8.4 million deaths is not 3%. So let's unpack that a little bit. So here's the thing, Alejandro, 24,000 deaths are not from, so 8.4 million people haven't gotten sick yet. Only about 2.5 million people have. And I didn't say 3%, I said 0.3%. So that's a lot different. So 24,000 deaths out of about 2.5 million. That's we're working on different numbers. So we don't judge. We don't calculate this based on the total population. We calculate this based on the total number of people who've gotten sick. So let's calculate these things correct. Thank you guys for clarifying that the audio is synced. I appreciate it. Let's have a quick peek. But yeah, hold on a quick second, because I think when people see numbers this big, it's very easy to look at it and go, those numbers can't be correct. But give me a quick. Thank you, Ella. It's the number of times when people see the number and go, that can't be right. Like I expect them to the next comment they have to tell me that no, the death rate is only 0.0001. Like, just glad to know that you're on team science. Cool. We're good. Anyways, so Christian just said your audible and volume is good, but your sound quality seems more distant than usual for that. Like, is this any better? I'll do what I can do. The mic has gotten a little banged up recently. Jennifer just said, you're so pretty. Thank you, madame. I appreciate it. I put in a lot of work to look this average. So. Today's drink of choice, because I am out of Diet Coke, because I drank both my Diet Cokes earlier. It's sweet tea via a Mio. I love those because I'm lazy, is what it comes down to. So, Leslie just said, try licking it. Yeah, the mic, I feel like that would turn into some sort of a scientist doesn't know how audio technology works. If I lick, like, this will turn into like the next really weird GIF if I lick this thing. Let's see, Goldie Monster said over on Twitch, hope you're staying cool. I'm in SoCal as well, and the sky, even by the beach, is awful. Stay safe because I need you. I need you too, Goldie. Stay safe out there. My God, how are you guys? Who are on the East Coast? Sorry, East Coast. See, the sun, the smoke has clearly gotten to my brain at this point. How are you guys on the West Coast doing? Like my mother-in-law is about 10 miles. Like I'm terrified for her. Like it seems like geographically she's, and this is part of the reason why I'm kind of like I'm like right before I got on, I saw a post from my mother-in-law showing the air quality in her area, and I just want you guys to see that. There's the PM. It's 472. I've never seen it get that 472. Ah, that's horrifying. So I'm worried. Like, and I know that there are a lot of, there are some of you guys, there are a lot of you, there are a lot of my friends. There's obviously my family that's dealing, with this right now. So like, I'm worried about people losing their homes right now. I'm worried about a lot, and I'm terrified that my mother-in-law is gonna lose her house. So it's like the one thing that someone asked if that's parts per million. I think so. I'm not sure. But it's bad. It's fucking bad. But yeah, she's like, luckily her, like, there's nothing good about the location, obviously, because right near the smoke, like that's fucking hurting her lungs right now. But she's in a place where geographically, like, there are things that's making it hard for the fire to advance in her direction. And I've just, I've been keeping an eye on the where the fire is, given that it's, been growing, and it doesn't seem to be heading more in her direction. So, that's like, it's terrifying, but that's, at least it seems like she probably won't lose her house. Like, I hate that this is my, like, there's my good news. But yeah, it's scary out there, and she's all alone, and yeah, so somebody I'm trying to read your last name, and I can't tell if I'm looking at an I or an O. I'm sorry. David just asked, where are you located? I'm in Los Angeles. My mother-in-law is up in the Fresno area, and that's where the air quality is. Like, she's right next to the Creek Fire. Now down here in LA, I know what made the news was the genital reveal party. I know we call them gender reveal party. Let's call them what they are. We're announcing to the world what the child's genitals are, and let's stop it, okay? We're not doing this yet. But anyways, the genital reveal party, that fire is like an hour inland and a little bit north-ish of here, and that one like a 20th the size. No, like, I don't want to say it's tiny, obviously, because, major loss of major destruction. Obviously, it's fucking horrible. But like, that one really didn't impact our air anywhere near as much. Now there's a second one up north, the Bobcat fire, that last time I checked, and that was a few hours ago. So who the fuck knows? Oh, my God. So that one is about an hour-ish north of here, and that one is that one last time I checked was 26,000 acres, and that one is threatening Pasadena. And like, today was the first day that I woke up, and like, there have been days where it's been like, that's a little smoky, like, and it's not like hitting you, but like, you can kind of, the way you can tell it's in the air, other than like, it's, for me, when it's bad, I realize it's bad because I'm like, why is my headache so bad today? And like, my eyes will burn a little bit, but I can't, like, I can only see it in the, way off distance. This morning, I woke up, and it was like in the atmosphere in my house, which was really just unnerving, and just you could taste the burning in here. Now, like, we sleep with like our bedroom door. Like, I have a cat who can get kind of annoying at night. I love, you guys know I love my cats. You see me with them here all the time. You see me with my Oliver, who's like who will drool on my arm this entire time if I let him. But middle of the night, he will come and beg to fetch. So we keep the door closed, and also because we can keep the air quality, like, it's a drafty attic in here, and we're still doing renovations. Anyways, we keep the door to the bedroom closed. opened it up this morning, and like we have an air purifier, and I realized how good that air purifier was when I opened the door to the main part of the attic, and that smoke fucking hit, and it's like, oh my god. And that was the effects of the bobcat fire hitting, because all of a sudden all this extra smoke on top of, you know, what was already here from creek fire, this extra that's right on top of us an hour away. So that's been fun. Yeah, because we can't get any N95s to protect us from coronavirus, and now we can't get any to protect us from the particles in the air that are killing us. So the theme of 2020 is dope. I guess the theme of 2020 is we can't is that the air is killing us. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's, you know, I think I think it's that we like, if the air is coming to kill you once wasn't bad enough, it doubled down on it. So yeah, like and it's like, the worst part is I want to tell people who have like asthma and who have, you know, various lung conditions, get an N95. Like, especially if, you know, if you're in this area, if you have a drafty house, if you don't have, like, if you have, you know, if you're an essential worker and you have to get out of the house to get to work or whatnot, and you have, you know, a lung condition, you really need to stop these particles from getting into your lungs. This is hazardous as fuck. Like it's awful that we have this shortage. Like, and I know now this is kind of like a few days ago. I don't know what, I think I was a little iffier on what I said about this, because there have been reports of, because there are, like, we discussed the fact that N95s and KN95, a couple of people are saying just don't breathe. No, you guys have to breathe. It's just saying it's a little difficult right now, but the here's the thing. So N95s and KN95s, they're the same level of protection, right, for masks. So the difference is N95s are the designation we give them from ones that are made in the U.S. KN95s are manufactured in China, but they have the exact same level of protection. So that's great. It's just N95s, we can't fucking get, there are none of them. Like, those are, it's, if you manage to find a fucking box of them, it means you stole them from a box that was supposed to go to a hospital, more than likely. So KN95s, here's the one issue that's come up kind of recently. There have been reports, and I believe I read this in ProPublica, I could be misremembering, but there have been mixed reports that there have been manufacturers that the manufacturer only came into existence in the last few months, and the masks are not, they're not up to par. They're not actually filtering. So if you decide to order KN95s, do a little bit of research into the manufacturer, is what I'm saying. So don't just go, oh, it's KN95, it'll be great. Please have a poke around before you order them. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, it's just scream into the void. Scream into the void. Scream it. But don't forget to hug your science dog, because it will make your day better. Hold on a second. Just gonna, buddy, how's your day going? Oh, did you just growl at me? Is that a little growl? He might have growled at me, I'm not sure. I think my buddy growled at me while he was giving me kisses. He's having it, just like me, he's having a day. Let's see, Linda Tulberg just commented, my can pack says not for medical use. Oi! I don't know what to make of that. Like, that concerns me a little. So anyways, I hope you guys went with me on that little ramble on fire and whatnot. So things are a little scary out here. It sucks when you're finally, one of the things that felt okay for a little while was, oh, we can go outside, you know, like, it's, you know, you can't have friends over, but we can go outside and sit on the porch with a friend from 10 feet away. Now what are we? Nope. And I saw somebody comment and ask if there was rain coming anytime soon. Maybe November. Rain's not coming for a few months. Like, I'm still kind of new to California. By new, I mean I've lived here for 7 years, but like, I don't have any instinct for when like rain season starts out here. Like, I lived in I lived in the Northeast growing up, and I'm still like I understand when winter starts, but like here, like we get 2 weeks of kind of sort of like you're gonna have to wear a hat maybe in like late December, but that's it. There's no real winter. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know when that corresponds with rain season because it's not really winter. It's just like eventually, like after, like it's dry season, which is like 6 months of the year. Then there's fire season. Then there's rain. And then like some, like, I don't know why it always feels like there's like more earthquakes in the summer. SciMom has entered the chat. Somebody, Goldie over on Twitch asked if she could borrow SciDog. You know, if you can trim his nails, you can borrow him. That's a big ask. He turns into a 12-pound velociraptor. He's a tiny little. He's very cranky about the nails. Like I don't. Otherwise, he is the sweetest dog. Something happens to it. It's like, how can you, like, why? I don't know what happened to him. Anyways, so, but yeah, that's things are a little. It's brain break for months. You know what? I should get like I saw a couple of fire experts over on Twitter. That's what I should do for I should see if I can grab I should grab a fire expert for to come on and chit chat about whatchamacallit, about the wildfires, because there have been some really interesting conversations that I've learned a lot from in the last few days over on Twitter. Oh, my husband just came home. Is that a slushie he brought for me? Oh my god! You guys. He brought me a lemonade slushie, and I'm just I have a wonderful husband. I'm just saying. Anyways, but where I got distracted. My husband came home. Anyways, where was I? Very distracted. Let's see. California seasons. Drought, fire, rain, and mud. Oh yeah, so I'm going to I'll probably see if I can get one of the fire experts on. But here's kind of why here's kind of why we have such a fire season. Like the first few years that I lived out here were crazy droughts. And we didn't have rain during the winter at all. And there's a song with a lyric that goes, "It never rains in California." And the first 2 years I lived out here, I'm like, oh, they weren't joking. It really fucking never rains out here. And then and here's the thing, we didn't really have like fires during the typical fire season those years either. And that really, that threw me quite a bit. And so when fires came after our first real rainy season or rainy year that I lived here, it was it threw me because I'm like wait, so we have dry year, no fire, and then we have this crazy rainy year in which we have mudslides and the earth is soaked again, and it only took one year to wipe out this 500-year drought, and we have fires. What? I'm so confused. And this is where it's explained to me that apparently I know nothing about the forest. Like this is why I tell people, I'm like, just because someone's a scientist does not mean they know about every science. Like I know about some chemistry and some toxicology and some forensics and a little bit of bio, and there's stuff I know some shit about, and then there's all the other science out there. So when you get a lot of rain, you get more growth, and then it dries out during those, because even though you have a rainy season, you still have a dry season. So more rain, more growth, then more stuff to dry out. And then by the end of that dry season, fire. So that's, I guess we need the rake force, guys. We just need funding for the rake force. I'm gonna drink my fucking slushie. I'm trying to catch up on comments here, and I see people talking about someone having a very bad breakup. I'm clearly missing the gossip. Oh, someone just commented that they got COVID a couple weeks ago. Let's see, you got, was trying to catch up with it. Well, comments are scrolling. Hold on. All right, so let's see. You tested positive. All right, Susan Clark comments. You tested positive for COVID 3 weeks ago, August 21st, and only had mild symptoms, mostly a dull headache and a drippy nose. I'm very glad that you had mild symptoms. It sounds like you had like most of the time, if you have. It seems like if people have asymptomatic cases or really, really mild cases, they won't, the antibodies aren't built up quite as strong. They have a better chance and it's rare, but there's a higher chance of having, of getting reinfected or their antibodies not being built up as much. So it sounds like you did have a solid enough case of it. Anyways, you said today there was free mobile testings at a site in town, so I got retested. Should I expect to be negative? And two, will I be counted twice in the testing numbers? You will be counted twice in the testing numbers, yes, and you should expect to be negative. It's more, I will be surprised if it comes back positive. It also depends on what, it also, like, there's a chance it'll come back positive, but everything I know about testing about this, like, it seems to be that after number one, it seems like after 10 days, like from the time of infection, or from when you first test positive until, like if you're asymptomatic, it seems like 10 days out from when you're first tested until it seems like, yeah, about 10 days is a safe window from when you first test positive. So if you're no longer symptomatic and it's been 10 days, you should be fine. I'll be surprised if you test positive, but a positive test at this point, I would likely, if it's a PCR test, I would likely chalk up to DNA fragments. But still, I would talk to your doctor about that, though. Please talk to your doctor, someone who has examined you and knows your medical history and what's been going on with your body in this last thing. Anyways, I'm glad you're feeling better, and that sucks that you had the COVID. Anyways, glad it wasn't too harrowing of a case. Anyways, scrolling back up through, trying to grab. There were a couple of really good questions that we got earlier, so I want to grab a few of those. And whilst doing that, going to grab a little bit of slushy. Part of me is like, I could combine the slushy and the tea, and it's just a slushy Arnold Palmer. It's about that time of day when my contacts are getting a little too dry, and I'm just going to be up here and doing this for the rest of the comments. Someone suggested that there was an aspartame shortage. I have not heard about an aspartame shortage, but if that is true, I'm going to have to go stock up on Diet Coke. This is a nightmare. We shall not. Just one quick comment. I am not as pale as this is picking up, or at least I don't, like, in the mirror over there, I look far less pale, and I think this is just a result of the lighting. That, it's like there are some pretty big. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out. I don't, like, if anyone's like, wow, she looks a little bit sick. Like, I have skin color. I just wanted to clarify that. I look like I'm ready to, like, go to Disney World and apply for Snow White, and I'm not quite that pale. Like I'm like one shade of foundation darker than that. One, maybe two, maybe not. See, this was one of the really good questions I wanted to get to. So I'm curious about your Lindsay O'Brien, who I hope you're in here. You asked about your thoughts on the limited info we have regarding the pause of the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine trial, and that's one that, like, kind of threw. That's, people are commenting that they thought I was a vampire. Look, it's been a long time since I've been able to feed sufficiently. Anyways, Larry and Laquella just commented, "You look like a white New Hampshire resident." Yeah, I remember. It's funny, and I'll get back to that question in a second. Yeah, I remember there were 3 years when I worked, like in high school. I worked at if there's anyone out there from the Portsmouth, New Hampshire area, I worked at the Fox Run Mall, and I just did not see the sun at all for like 3 years, from just being inside in the sun or away from the sun all summer. And there was one day for my senior class trip, I had not been out in the sun because I was inside the mall all summer long. One day for my senior class trip, did not realize, and this was how, like, I can be smart, but also have moments of dumbness. Went outside and tanned for we went to Florida for my senior class trip, went outside and tanned for a couple hours, 2 hours, I believe, at like high noon in a bikini, baby oil. Oh, I have regrets, my friend. If I one day, like, if the cancer comes for me, it will be skin cancer, and I will have done it to myself. Just, I did bad things to myself when I was a teenager that I regret. So that is just wanted to, but like, this is probably like around my natural paleness. Just like, I'm like, I don't look quite this pale in a mirror. It's throwing me a little bit. Just, this was how pale I looked in high school, though. Anyways, back to the COVID-19, the vaccine, the AstraZeneca trial being halted. So this is not uncommon for something like, first of all, we don't know what happened. We know that it got halted. So the fact that it was halted means that somebody had some sort of a weird health fucking thing happened, and they don't know if it was gonna happen to her say I was like my weird headache condition. It just happened. It just started one day, right? Say I was scheduled for the COVID vaccine trial on, like, because I remember the day that this happened, that my headache started. It was on March 7th, 2010. Oh yeah, this has been going on for a while. Say I was that I just, that the day that my headaches started, like, or say COVID started on a different time in history, and I was someone who was lending my body out to science earlier in my life. What if I was scheduled to get into the COVID vaccine trial on March 5th of 2010, and 2 days later my headache started? Things could sometimes just happen to coincide. It's kind of one of those things where we don't know if this is a vaccine reaction, or we don't know if this is a vaccine injury, or if this is just a person who got sick. So they're pausing this to figure out what happened here. And that's the responsible thing to do. So it's not, the fact that they're this far in and there's only been one incident. Let's see. Reporting said that a person got transverse myelitis. Thank you for pointing that out, Stanley. I'll have a peek into that after. I can't pause this to read the article, but I mean, here's the thing. We don't know. We just don't know if it's related to if the vaccine caused it, or what the incidents, or we don't have a fucking clue. So, anyways, we have to wait for more information. And if this means that this vaccine is a dud, this means this vaccine is a dud, and they're doing the responsible thing. And that's why we do phase 3 trials. So it sucks. It's a thing where it sucks if this is the hiccup that throws it off the rails, but I don't think it's going to be that. I think that this is more than likely two things that happen to coincide, but I don't know. That's why they're doing an investigation, and it's absolutely the responsible thing to do, and it's a kind of thing that happens in these trials that make them stop their research. So yeah, they're doing the right thing. So let's see. Stephen Reese commented about the 28-year-old teacher dying. Did you have a question? Or, oh, sorry, did I miss that you were replying to someone? Or, sorry. I realized that caused, there was a bit of arguing about that yesterday. I didn't realize that was going to cause such a fuss on the page. It was interesting to see so many people popping in. Like, it was interesting because there were many more people pushing back. Your question was, did she contract it at school? That hasn't been established, and because they haven't done contact tracing yet. And the thing is, I believe they were teaching virtually, but it's unclear where she got it, because unclear. But I think I think the reason that people were pointing out, why this is so, horrifying. Like, is she's 28, and like a couple weeks ago, I said something that I think people thought I was being hyperbolic about this. I said, have you worked out? Have you thought about how you're going to talk to your kids about about if their teachers die? And it's like, I think people are like, why are you being so, why are you saying these types of things? I'm like, I'm saying these types of things because you have to think about, like, I'm not saying it because I want you to like, I wasn't saying it to send people into a fucking tizzy, or to be like, hey, this, like, it's an awful thing that happens. Like, this 28-year-old woman who probably planned on teaching for a very long time, maybe had she had other things she wanted to do with the rest of her life. She wanted to keep teaching. This was not supposed to be the end. And people wrote her off in the comments by saying, well, did she have pre-existing conditions? Have we no humanity left? What's wrong with us? Like, it's fine. Like, did she have, was it okay? You could just write her off like that because she had pre-existing what? How is that all? I don't even understand how someone thinks that those are okay words to write on the internet in reaction to somebody dying, and in reaction to a 28-year-old woman dying because she breathed the air. What? I don't get it. How are we here? Who are you? Who are you? If this is an okay thought that you think about about a human being, for fuck's sake. But yeah, that's like, I have pre-existing conditions. They're not on the list, but they're pretty rare, and I don't know if they put me at risk of having a bad case of COVID. I don't. My mom is 69. Nice. So look, I can't get through a serious moment without look. My mom's age is a joke for 1 year, and I can't not. But my mom's 69. Nice, which puts her automatically into being, like, doesn't matter. She's the healthiest goddamn person I know. She's the only thing that's ever been wrong with her. She occasionally gets a sore knee. Oh. She's my mom, and I want to put her into a fucking bubble. Like, because women in my family, if they don't smoke, and she never has, women in my family, if they don't smoke, live to be in their 90s. Or like my last great aunt just died in 2017 at 101. Taunt Dorothy, you fucking rock star. And I don't know if she's gonna be the one that just happens to get the bad case of this, like, I just, like, so when people say it's only old people and people with pre-existing conditions, I want to reach through the internet and say, old people and people with pre-existing conditions can hear you. They deserve to be here too. I want them around for a while. So anyway, I just wanted to share those thoughts with you guys because that bothered me a lot. And I hope it bothered a lot of you guys too. So, whew. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. So, just had to get that off my chest. Also, the edibles kicking in earlier than I expected. So, let me scroll up through. There was another question. That was a long ramble. Getting off of that ramble is difficult. The other question was from Lindsay O'Brien, who asked about the AstraZeneca trial. She also asked about Bradykinin storm, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly at all. I'm sure I'm I'm not sure if that's the right accent on the right syllable or not. But Bradykinin storm. So it seems like there's a confluence of factors. Like I am dumbing this down a lot, and by dumbing it down, I mean that there's like basically I only got a chance to read on this earlier today, and I'm not remembering everything in a way that I can explain it as clearly as I would like to. So I'm probably going to sit down and script out a video on it because it's new and I think it needs to be discussed a bit more. But this seems like a really good theory. It's basically a confluence of factors that rather than cytokine storm, that Bradykinin syndrome or storm, it seems to be the thing that kind of connects everything. Sorry, somebody just said I would when the edible. Somebody just tried to remind me that when the edible kicks in, I should look at the screen. Just give me a minute. I'll get there. But it seems to be this kind of a unifying theory of why this kind of is a vascular disorder, why this is why all the different things that are happening in all the different systems it's the good thing that's coming from this is that because if this theory pans out, it's going to there's more than likely it's going to it's going to lead to it's going to lead to research that'll lead to new treatments. So hopefully that'll be a new breakthrough. I'm hopeful. It's the first thing that I've seen in a while that I've been like, oh, that actually, like, without with very little extra insight into that, it seems like it's one of the first things that seems to connect everything in a way that's both been tested in a laboratory and has theoretical. I don't know. I'm looking at it going. It has teeth. I like it. So that is my attempt to. Caitlin Belfort just said. Belfort just said, I admire that you're able to carry on scientific lectures on edibles. Look, this is getting harder right now. It's been a little bit. It's been okay up until this point, and then it kicked in high time. See, Bryant Hamilton has commented that a cytokine storm is triggered by way of a vascular response. Wouldn't that cause an identical overload of other organs such as the heart and the brain? I am not sure. And here's the thing: I believe, like, one of the things that I read was that they actually, like, I don't want to misquote this article. I only read it earlier today. There's a really good write-up on it from Derek Lowe in the pipeline in his blog, and he did a pretty good write-up on it. There was, as someone commented, a write-up in Scientific American. Thank you, Peter Edwards. Thank you. We had the Peter Edwards has a comment linking to Derek Lowe's blog. So have a click on that for a bit more information. So, but yeah, that is. It's a decent theory from the pile of theories we've had, from it being, like, remember one of the first theories that was kicked around was being low on vitamin D was linked to it, and then came what was it? The next one was another antioxidant that I actually ended up buying. Oops. It's been hunting for something that kind of unifies it, because this thing kind of attacks every a bunch of different disparate systems. Because at first it seemed like it was attacking just the lungs, and everyone's like, oh, it's respiratory disease, and then we figure out it's that patients that were going to the hospital with gastric symptoms, they were also COVID symptoms, and then it turns out there's that people with many different symptoms are COVID patients. And so it's like, what's the unifying thing that's bringing this all together? So the fact that they're finding something that's systemic is kind of it's a good thing at this point, because it means they're going to be able to hopefully find treatments through that. So someone said resveratrol. That is a component of red wine, or of yeah. It's I'm not. Was that one of the recommended treatments for it? I'm missing why resveratrol was in the conversation. There's a fun story about resveratrol. So ages ago, there was a story. I'm very clearly high now. Anyways, there was a fun story about that it was in the media that was saying that with that 1 hour, or that it was either a bottle or it was like a glass of wine was equal. Someone said, "Is Psy Kitty there?" I think he's somewhere like in the very opposite direction of the room. So like I have no idea where the cat is, and yet can hear the meowing. But there, yeah. So there was an article, that came out in some random, like MSN, whatever, MSN.com. That was like, a bottle or a glass of wine is equal to 1 hour of exercise. I'm like, man, if someone had told me that before I trained for a marathon, that would have been great. But like, they took this, there was, and eventually, like, I hunted and hunted. I found eventually the study from which they took this very clearly bullshit headline, and they took it from, I think it was these UNC researchers that were researching resveratrol, of course, because everything, however you can make it sound like dark chocolate or wine or coffee is good or bad for you, whatever you want the headline du jour to say, you can make it say that. So they found, like, whatever it was, they were researching resveratrol and how it could help with patients, like older patients and patients that were that were not able to move as well, and they were figuring out how they could use it to mimic some of the biological effects of exercise, and they found that it had some minor effect, but that you had to use the amount of resveratrol in somewhere between 100 to 1,000 bottles of wine. 100 to 1,000 bottles. We just. Wine moms everywhere accept this challenge. Oh, man. But the headline said 1 glass of wine equivalent to an hour of exercise. Are you fucking kidding me? Fact check your shit. Anyways, but of course now, like, resveratrol is gonna be the next thing. It's gonna be like, I'm waiting for InfoWars to sell that shit. That has to be like a component of Brain Force. A couple people are saying over on YouTube that I'm baked, and indeed I am. Indeed I am, but I am still talking science and, to a point, making sense. I'm very proud of myself. So, scrolling through, grabbing a few more questions from, Cher Bernasconi asked, conspiracy theorists have conspiracy theory of what's causing the fires, yay or nay? I have seen that there are conspiracy theories that Antifa is lighting the fires. Guys, the only thing that's been lighting the fires is the fact that it's hotter than fucking Hades here, and there are a lot of dry trees. Antifa, not necessary. What the shit? It's somebody asked me earlier if I believe the question was, hold on a second, I want to make sure I get this right. Oh no, I missed it, sorry. Oh, I missed it. Oh, it's a good question from over on Twitch. Is Antifa doing gender reveal? Is Antifa doing gender reveals? Oh man. That's going to be, like, I want to see that hashtag trend. Hashtag Antifa gender reveals. That'd be fantastic. Let's see. Stanley Stevenson commented, I heard it was 110 in Cali. No, it was 121. It was the record in Woodland Hills. It was pretty intense out here. So, and I mean, I live in a big old Victorian. I have a bunch of roommates, big old Victorian. I live on the top floor, and it gets fucking hot up here. So we have one room of it cordoned off with an air conditioning, and even with air conditioning, we could only get it down to 80 during the day. So, like, the nutty part was that, like, it was, I believe, 110 Saturday, 120 on Sunday, and then it drops to 95 on Monday, and it's down to, or 90 something on Monday, 80 something on Tuesday, and when it gets down to 85 on Tuesday, it feels downright fucking cool out. It's like, how does it feel cool? And it's like, oh, because it's dropped 35 degrees in 2 days, 35 degrees colder, and it's 85. It's just, oh my God, that felt amazing. But yeah, it's today. It's 81, and it feels. And I wore a sweatshirt. What's wrong with me? So that's very strange. Let's have a look. Yeah, what 120. Let's see. Eric Taub asked, and what if it's 125 next year? If it's 125, like, we're going to blow every circuit breaker in the house air conditioning, which will, of course, contribute more to the global warming, which will make it 130 next year or the following year. Like, if we even have a power grid. Like, the worst part is that I know there were rolling blackouts. I'm, lucky that I live in a fairly central part of LA that is lucky enough that it probably will not experience rolling blackouts. I say this, I don't know, fingers, but like, it's terrifying knowing, like, there were parts of, like, I have a few friends in Hollywood who, got hit with the rolling blackouts. Not a good time to not have electricity. And of course, when do you get hit with the rolling blackout? When you really fucking need air conditioning. So it's just like, here we occasionally will blow a circuit or blow a fuse because it's just old house. We need to do some rewiring. Anyway, scrolling back through and trying to get a few more questions from earlier. Anyways, I answered this in the comments from earlier, but someone asked, if you were president, what steps would you be taking right now to prepare for the next COVID wave? Let's get it on the record so they can't scream hindsight is 2020. So I answered this before the edible kicked in, luckily. So anyways, here is my answer for what President SciBabe. I'm never running for office. You have me high on camera. But here's what I would do if I were president right now to get this under control. And look, this is why I'm never running for office, because some of these policies would be uncool, but it would get COVID under control. It would work. Anyways, I would immediately do a hard lockdown for the next, give or take, 6 weeks nationwide, as needed until testing positivity rates drop. There are relatively inexpensive but less sensitive tests that are available. They'll only ping positive about a day later than PCR tests, but the turnaround time on testing is much faster, and I would funnel as much money as necessary into making them available for every single essential worker to be tested daily before work. Masks would be mandatory nationwide anytime you are out of your house, with a high enough fine to make it prohibitively expensive so that people would wear a fucking mask. And healthcare would be, now here is where, so far I'm pretty sure you guys are like, yeah, I'm with you. Here's where I might lose people. Healthcare would be universally provided. Sick leave would be from your employer would be mandated, and UBI, that's universal basic income, would be implemented at least until there is a vaccine and widespread distribution. After the 6 weeks of lockdown are up, and positivity rates are manageable, then we start discussing going back to school when the virus is at a level where it should be for us to even discuss this happening. But also, I'm never fucking running for office. Anyways, that's what President SciBabe does. Cancel me now if you don't like those plans. But yeah, that's what you need to do to get that shit under control. This isn't rocket science. That's just, like, we shouldn't have the shouldn't be having a discussion about the kids. Oh, there's the cat, by the way. So it's there's my, anyways, there's, you guys were asking where the cat was. That cat is very loud. I'm right here. Anyways, so that's like, there are other things I would do that might, like, that people might be like, but my civil liberties. I would for certain regions like that have, like, higher and lower levels of COVID, be like, you can't cross state lines except for work. Oh yeah, that's what I would do for those 6 weeks. Hard lockdown, just for 6 weeks. But that's why I'm not in charge of shit, because I only know how to talk about things like that. Like I don't know anything about like marginalized tax rates on dividends on stocks over $85,000. I have no idea what I'm talking about on anything else. So please, no SciBabe for president. SciBabe for advisor on science communications to president. Start sending emails to Kamala. No hashtags on SciBabe for president. No, Biden for president. Kamala for VP. SciBabe for SciComm advisor. Let's do that. Yeah, get me in there that way. Anyways, but yeah, like let's get America to be rational and have some scientific thought again. That's all I want. We can believe in science. We can have political differences and believe in science at the same time. One day it'll be fine. It's Starling just said SciBabe for president and hashtag bring back glory holes. Oh man. Like, look, I'm here to give the people what they want. Anyways, so look, Kim Schiller just commented, love people who say, but we did a lockdown. Oh, sweetie, what we did was not a lockdown. No, we did not do a lockdown. And that's kind of the worst part of it. Like, we could have gotten this, like, if we had, like, and that's what makes this really difficult. Like, we don't have the political, like, nobody in office on either side. And I say this about my side too. No one on either side had the political will to say, this is hard. This is how bad this is. We need to lock down hard for the next 6 weeks to get this really, really under control. No one, and it's because no one says no to President Trump. No one really tells him no in any significant way. And got him and his band of miscreants under control, and said, this matters. Lives are going to be lost. Like, we all know now that he lied about this. He knew how bad it was, and he just fucking lied. He lied about it all. It's infuriating to a degree that I don't know how to handle, given that we just found out yesterday that he knew how bad it was. And people, unknowable numbers of people are dead because of it. I want to know, like, what could have been done to get on top of that a year ago or 6 months ago. I mean, like, how is this where we are? Just 6 months ago, we could have just locked down, and this would have been fine. Could have had a hard lockdown. This would have all been okay. Anyways, so we're not having Halloween this year, are we? No, see, Diane commented, we didn't do a lockdown. I bought my daughter a size up in sneakers and snow boots on March 15th because I assumed there'd be a lockdown, and if she outgrew her shoes, I would be able to get her a new pair. Of shoes would not be considered an essential business. Oh, man. Just all the things they had to know and not say a word about. Like, I want to know what people who supported Trump all through this, because there are people that are going to support him no matter what, that are going to support him, till the end, till the bitter fuck end, and they're going to, no matter what, and I want to know, for the people who, there have to be a few people. There have to be a few who got shaken off by finding out that he said into a tape, for an interview that he signed up for willingly, that he signed up for an interview with Bob fucking Woodward, Pulitzer Prize winning journal. Are you fucking kidding me? Who let him do that? Who, how did that get through the censorship? That got in there. Who said yes to that? Like, I understand that, like, Lindsey Graham set up the phone call, and I look at that and go, was Lindsey Graham playing the long game? Was Lady G, like, was he, like, biding his time to get his revenge on Trump for giving out his phone number on live television? Because maybe, like, I have that is my new conspiracy theory, is that Lindsey Graham, wait, go with me on this journey. Go with me on this journey. I could be, look, I don't really believe this, but go with me. Lindsey Graham embedded himself for this whole time, knowing that everyone would look at him and go, you're full of shit. Just so that he could set up these 18 interviews with Woodward to fucking nail him. I'm just saying. It's not true. It's absolutely not true. I'm just saying there's definitely compromise on Lindsey Graham regarding the fact that he's definitely hired a lot of allegedly hired several male sex workers in the Capitol Hill area. Anyways, that's allegedly. Just heard that allegedly. That's sorry. Just wanted to get that off my chest. Anyways, but yeah, it's crazy that that Trump admitted to a journalist, to a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, that he knew all of this months ago. And there have to be Republicans, some of them, there have to be some that have gone with him to this point that dropped off now because they went, wait, you said that this was a little cold, that this wasn't even like, this was just the flu. You lied to, there have to be some of them that are looking back over all their decisions they made, trusting him to this point, and they're going, oh, fuck. Like, I want to know. I want to know what goes through someone's mind after. Like, it's like, here's the thing. Like, I feel like, and I mean, I know it's a very, like, he's a con man. That's what he is. That's what Donald Trump is a con man. Like, and it's a very big leap to compare someone like, Trump to the David Avocado Wolfs of the world. But I mean, but is it though? Is it? They're sociopaths who want money. Allegedly. They like money and power. They want people to look up to them. They like people just, to admire them. They're con men, allegedly. I'm just saying, it's not when it's when people suddenly realize that these people that they look up to aren't what they expected. Is it embarrassment to look back and go, I fell for all of that? Is that it? Like, is it like, because I know there are some of them that are in it because they're like, let's just be blunt. There are some of them that are in it because like they see it's not that, like, there are some of them that are completely in it because they're white nationalists. They're not in denial of the the swastikas and the Nazis and all of that. They're in there because they like that shit. They're in their ride or die on that stuff. But the ones that are like, they're tagging along and they're like, yeah, it's fine. This is okay. Lowered my taxes. Like, they're at some point they have to, maybe they'll see it's possible that they're going to figure out that he's saying the exact words that reveal that he lied to, he's on tape lying to them. Is it just that they're embarrassed that he's saying out loud that, like, it's okay, like, we'll accept you back into polite society. It's okay to admit you were duped. Just don't keep being duped. Just come on back. Just come back. It's fine. It's okay to say you got conned. Just please come back. But man, how do you hear a man say on tape that he knew that thing was fucking bad for you, and then hear him come up and say in public, that's fine, it's a little cold, and not be pissed. I don't get that. But that's just me. Anyway, sorry. I went on that little rant. I was having a spitting the hot fire of truth moment. So thank you guys for going on that journey with me. So I'm gonna try to answer a few more questions because clearly I'm having a night. Have I? Let's see. Let's try to answer a few more of these things. Let's see. Someone asked, what do you think are major contributions to the increasingly deadly wildfires in the past few years? Climate change, poor forest management, mainly climate change. Yeah, that's the big one. But I'm definitely going to invite someone on who's more knowledgeable about this to speak on it, because I think that'll be a really good contribution to all of our knowledge base in here, really, because it's something that I think people know. Like, I think a lot of people know like a little bit about, but like no one's talked to an expert. So I think, yeah, let's grab an expert and talk. Let's see, everyone's not enough raking. Cat, just scrolling through the comments on here. Elizabeth Cooper said, I have a friend who voted for him, and all she says now is, it's not the first vote. I made a mistake with my vote. I won't make it again. Here's the thing, like, I know people who were like, oh God, why did who are looking back with regret. I know one person who turned into a Trump voter after being a liberal. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I question that person's intelligence. Someone just commented, Doug Winkleman just commented, there's a thing called the spray on tan. Doug, there's a thing called manners. I'm fine being this pale. Just saying. But it's also that I have really weird lighting right now. Anyways. But Jesus. Whew. Scrolling. Oh, here's a good comment. Let's see. This is, let's see. Kim Schiller commented, not really a question, just want to say I've been obsessed recently with the emerging stories of lingering health issues after COVID, and wondering how many asymptomatic people who don't even know for sure that they've had COVID now have not yet discovered heart, kidney, and blood disorders too. It's nice to have a group of people, even if they're internet strangers, who care about this stuff too. Yeah, I mean, that is one of the kind of scary things about this, is that we've seen. I think there was one study I saw where about half of people who were asymptomatic that have been hospitalized. There was a group that they studied that they kept hospitalized in China, that had been pulled out of the general population that had tested positive, and out of the people that were asymptomatic, half had abnormal lung scans, and they didn't release. I don't think I was looking at. I think they were only looking at lung scans for that study, but I wonder what, at that point, I think it was because at that point we really only thought it was a respiratory condition. So now I want to know what else was going on there. Like, what else, if we could, if we body scanned then again, we don't know what an average 100 average COVID cases looks like, because you've seen one COVID case, they all look different. Like, if we could look at 1,000 COVID cases and see what typical, or what they all kind of look like, and see what the aftermath looks like in each organ systems, what do asymptomatic people look like afterwards, and that'd be valuable to know, because I think people who have just been exposed to it need to know if they should get, they need to get tested too, because you don't know what's going on if you've been subclinical in your presentation. And I think when we hear asymptomatic, we always, with some people, there's a presumption that because you're not experiencing anything, that your body's not going through anything. It's more like it's more like the symptoms haven't gotten to you. Your body is still fighting something off in a lot of cases. So please remember, please remember the term is more subclinical than asymptomatic. Like, it's not presenting, as opposed to not being experienced by your body at all. So I know it's hard I know I'm splicing hairs on this, but go with me on this journey. So scrolling through some comments. Let's see. Katrina Mills, you can have asymptomatic with chickenpox and still have, oh yeah, that's a good point. You can have asymptomatic chickenpox and still end up having shingles, which is why it's a good thing to go and get your antibodies checked for all the things. But man, I hadn't even thought about that one. it's one of those things that I just think like we've all either had the chickenpox or had the vaccine. Scrolling. I feel like I look a little bit more high because while I'm looking at the screen, I'm doing this a little bit. Oh, there we go. Tina Dunn. There was an Italian study showing 60 to 70% of asymptomatic cases had heart inflammation weeks after recovery. I remember that one. And that one kind of like that was a little, that was alarming to say the least. And it's, you know, here's the thing, like we don't know how long that goes on for, but like that's, it's just like alarming. Like it's hard to know how long something like that goes on for, if it's the type of inflammation that's going to be problematic. If it's like we're unsure on a lot of these things. Like I know that and I talked to a friend of mine who's actually I talked to our very own SciDoc about this, and because we were discussing that the fact that about half of asymptomatic cases have some lung scarring, have that ground glass opacity in their lungs. And he said that, even though they have that lung scarring, you throw any random 100 people that feel fine into a body scan, you're going to find, ground glass. You're going to find a ton of random things in lungs, and they're, even if, and a lot of them are going to be nothings. But the good thing hearing that is that there's we don't know yet. We don't know if these are permanent. We don't know if these are long. And I've talked to at this point, I've talked to a couple different doctor friends. They think the ones that are in asymptomatic and milder cases are more likely to clear up. And like I said, take that with a big old grain of salt. These are not this is early. We obviously don't have a study on this, but this is just these are my doctor friends who have been talking with their other doctor friends and trying to figure out what this is going to be like long term, and that's what they're expecting to be. Somebody just asked me to say, hold on. I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly, but I was just asked over on whatchamacallit, on Periscope to say Galatasaray. I don't know if I mispronounced that, but I tried. Galatasaray. I hope that was all right for you. I was asked to say a word that I don't know if I fucked it up. So I did my best. So you're welcome, or I'm sorry. So, but that's there's my ramble on that. Hope I did good. But yeah, there are some things that we don't know how long it's going to be for. We don't know if it's going to be. There was one thing that I saw that was really interesting on the college athletes. There was a friend of mine who works in exercise physiology, and he said if you take a college athlete and they have a pretty nasty case of COVID, you can even if they recover from that. If you take their he rattled off a handful of stats that I don't want to screw up, but if their VO2 max and a couple of and their overall oxygen capacity, if there are a couple of different things that can be damaged when their heart and lungs are damaged from this, that they can't recover, and will take an elite athlete and drop them down to an average athlete, and in some cases that can't be recovered. And that's just a depressing thing to think about, especially because we don't know who's kind of marked for a bad case of this, because you hear about athletes who no pre-existing condition occasionally just have a really bad case of it. So I get it. Someone asked, is that the hubby? Yes, it is the hubby getting some water. But who's sorting screws? He was getting water, guys. You're very funny. But yeah, no, this is why I look at all and I go, I want you guys to think and I hear people who are like, I'm young, I probably won't get a bad case. I just look at everyone and go, the point is to try to not get a case at all. So, I'm hoping people will, will accept my plea of, try not to get it, as opposed to try to maybe only sort of get it if you're young and sort of healthy. Just, this thing can screw you up for a while and you don't know how long. And it seems like we're getting closer to a vaccine. So if we can all really yell hard at our congressmen to maybe throw us some money until there's a vaccine, because the countries that have paid people to stay home have fared the best. I just wanted to throw that out there. That's a thing that's happened. I just wanted to throw that out there before I literally sip the tea. Anyway, but that's my that's my thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to. There's something I just wanted to. Oh, hold on. I've been very. My mouse is stuck. This is not okay. No, come back. There we go. Just had to get a little more directly political before the end of this, of course. So, anyways, I see someone. Sorry, I'm trying to read a comment from over on Periscope that I'm a little that's a little bit unclear. Anyways, scrolling on. Leslie asked, did you read the studies on people with O negative blood getting fewer symptoms? I've said this before. I just want to reiterate, like, it's hard to figure out, there are so many different things, that we see that are going to seem, that are going to seem like, oh, this is a thing that's going to save my ass from this, or this is going to be the thing that makes this, really bad and make this make this a bad case of it. Whether you have type O or type A blood is not going to be the difference between a good or a bad case of this. Wearing a mask, is going to be the big thing that's going to keep you safe. So there's no major thing in knowing your blood type that's going to keep you safe from this. So please, I get it that was a scary study, but don't worry about that one. Just, wear your mask, wash your hands, try not to lick doorknobs at local area hospitals. So, but that was a really good study to terrify everyone and make me get a lot of emails. So anyways, I think I'm going to wrap this up because I see a few comments pointing out that I might have red eyes at the moment. Oops. But any quick, I can't let this go with them. I give the people what they want. Anyways, but thank you guys for sticking this out with me. I didn't time that edible correctly. I thought that was going to kick in like half an hour later, at least, and be weaker than it was. Oops, that was a miscalculation on my part. Anyways, let me just someone just said no. Nicole just said, "You're fine, keep going." I'm like, I feel like I'm a little on the stuttery side, but it's been a good time, and I will be back. I will be back on Sunday for more science. For more delightfully scientific theater. Anyways, you guys are fantabulous. I hope you guys are all staying safe out there. I know some of your kids went back to school this week, you guys probably started last week. Anyways, I know you guys have been back in school this week. I hope you guys are staying safe, and all you guys are fine out there, and you guys are safe from the fires. And that if you have to go out this week, either into the fires or into this disease-ridden apocalyptic world that we're in, you guys are managing to keep yourselves and your family safe. Please hug whoever is closest to you that is in your COVID bubble, please. So I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Until next time, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye.